It's September. We are but a few days away from fall, officially. And there's big things happening in the garden this month, and they have nothing to do with vegetables or fruits or plants or gardening of any kind. Let me show you what I mean. We have a new member of the gardening family. That's right. This is Frankie. Franklin Furter Perkins, to be exact. And he is our latest addition. He is not quite 5 months old, a little puppy, a mini black and tan male, obviously. And he is loving it out here in the garden. And Jessie is not quite used to her little brother yet, but she'll get around to it. She does tolerate him okay. But he is just an affection hound. He loves everything and everybody and loves being out in the garden. And he should be a fun addition to our family. And we are very happy to have him here. He actually came from the same breeder that where we got Jessie. And he's just a little bundle of joy. He's a handful, being a puppy, of course, but he's a great little pup, and he likes to stay right close to his daddy's feet, which is okay until I trip over him. But let's actually do some garden talk around here. Chives, where we like to start, and Frankie staying close by, of course. Looking a little tired, but they're doing fine. Our fall brassicas, I kind of neglected them. I've been sort of busy, and they're not really doing much yet, except for attracting caterpillars. And speaking of caterpillar attractors, these Brussels sprouts were just total loser plant. I don't know if there was something that I did wrong. I mean, I've grown lots of Brussels sprouts before, but they just don't do anything, and they're really just feeding caterpillars more than anything else. Summer squash is pretty much all done for. I don't think we'll get another one around here. And okra is really slowing down now. As soon as we get our first cool weather, which we're having some of right now, they slow down. Now you can still see that there's pods, and we will continue to get pods. But they're going to slow down. These pods I've actually let stay out here a little bit too long. They're too big. Meanwhile, sweet potatoes are looking great, but unfortunately we're already seeing some signs of rodent damage. Not on those right there, but there's one over here someplace that I covered up that had been chewed on a little bit, so that's not a good sign. And we need to wait until these guys are there's one with a little chewing on it, you can see. We need to wait till about the first frost before we pull them guys, so hopefully the rodent damage will be limited. This is where the corn used to be. It's all down and bundled, and ready for fall decor. My fall garden so far isn't turning out to be much of anything. Looks like I might have a few radishes and a few carrots and maybe a few beets, but none of the lettuce came up. That's really odd. But we still got lots of first season beets that are still in the ground, and they don't appear to be getting, old and tough as they sit in the ground, so that's a good thing. Got a few carrots hanging on here too as well, which are still edible, so we'll be pulling those. And there's Frankie, who wants to get in on the camera, and then wants to get in on the carrots, and then wants to get in on anything else that anybody else is getting in on, because that's just the way he is. Meanwhile, over here in bed 3, some more brassicas that are kind of neglected and kind of been chewed up by caterpillars more than anything else, because I haven't taken care of them. Potatoes are all done for. But remember last time on the pole bean area, which is what this is, still looking magnificent, by the way, I said I thought the Scarlet Runners would be possibly coming in later, and sure enough, they are coming in now. And those are some fine scarlet runner beans. Those bigger pods might be too big to eat as pods, but the beans inside will be good. And then the Kentucky Wonder Beans are still coming along fine, looking pretty good, still producing, although they might be slowing down some. And the yard-long beans are definitely slowing down, but there are still some here hanging out, so that's good. And lima beans have been pretty slow, but I do have a couple coming in here someplace. I remember seeing them, if I can find one. There's one right there. So I guess I'll say the same thing that I was saying with the scarlet runners last time, that hopefully they'll be coming in a little later. Oh, look who's down there. See? What you doing, Jess? Looking under the bean plants? Here's some of those great scarlet runner blossoms too. They're good all season long. That's kind of fun. All right, so off we go to the melon patch, and you can see the melon patch just ain't no more. All the vines just died right back. We got several good melons, but they kind of died prematurely with a bunch of small melons still on the vines. So that was a little too bad, but we did get a good crop. And then these are the ground cherries, Aunt Molly's ground cherries. They're done for now. We got a lot of those, and the girls aren't too keen on them, although they're pretending they are right now for the camera. But that turned out to be a fun little crop. Lots of ground cherries, and I've got them in the refrigerator where they are holding nicely, and been nice little treats all season long. Meanwhile, out here in winter squash, I've pulled practically all the winter squash. I'll show you that harvest in a little bit, because I've got them all in the grow house area. But all in all, winter squash and pumpkins were very disappointing this year. Just a small harvest, lots of vine problems, and my rumbo squash, which I was growing outside the perimeter of the garden, I lost almost every single one of them to rodent damage, so that's kind of too bad. But we still got a fair amount. I guess there's not too much else to show you, really. You can see the corn stalks are bundled and standing tall, about 10 feet tall, as a matter of fact. And we've got, I guess our fall garden is more of a marigold garden than anything else these days. But still looking kind of nice. And we are thrilled with our new addition to the family, which is right there. He's such a good boy. And like I say, Jessie hasn't totally accepted him in as much as, playing with him, but she will sleep with him, and she does tolerate him as she is right now. She just hasn't made that bond yet. But that's normal for that to take a few weeks to happen. And he's only been with us for 1 week as of yesterday. Went and picked him up over in Pennsylvania. And like I say, other than the fact that he's a puppy and a handful, he's just a joy to have around, and nice to have a little joy arriving in the house after losing Molly in June, which was of course so sad, even though she had a nice, long, and happy life. So we are thrilled with Frankie, and like I say, he loves everybody. He's just a bundle of affection. But that's going to do it. Oh, let me show you the winter squash here. That's not the winter squash, that's Frankie doing some exploring underneath the hoses. But here's the winter squash harvest, inclusive of pumpkins. You've got pumpkins in the back there, obviously. These are Ford Hook acorn squash. Those are Waltham butternut. These are the smallest blue Hubbards I've ever seen in my life. But looks like they're edible, so there's some more Ford Hook acorns back there, and these two are the only two Australian butter squash. Nice looking squash. Kind of neat looking, that hat box style, like I said, hat box shape. But those are the only two I got. And hopefully they'll hold here for a while. And I think I'll try to, I don't need any winter squash myself. Maybe I'll keep a couple and try to take the rest to a food pantry or something like that. And at least someone will be able to use them. But that's going to do it. But wait, I didn't even show you everything. I'm losing it. I'm so excited about Frankie that I'm having a hard time keeping my mind on gardening. I forgot to show you everything here. Here's the peppers, still coming in fine. These are korobachis. And you can see that the tomato plants themselves have died. They're done for. But we still have quite a few good tomatoes on the vine, ready to be picked. These are the quote-unquote delicious variety. These oblong ones are the San Marzano. And then we even have a few of these, I forget the name of them. I'll think of it. Oh yeah, Star Irene, or Irene Star, one or the other, who knows. And then still lots of peppers on the pepper plants, coming in very nicely all over the place. Slowing down a little bit this time of year, but still coming in, including these very bushy ties. And I think there's a nice red one under there. Yeah, see? That's a nice pepper. So now I've shown you everything, and Frankie is thinking of having himself a pepper. Oh, he is. He's actually eating it. You like peppers? That'll be a switch. Never had a dachshund like peppers. Alright, so, okay, now we can officially say this is the end of the video. Take it away, Marv. Okay, so now I'm officially interrupting the interruption to the September garden video because I forgot there were a couple of late August events that I wanted to include in the September video. The first one is Jessie enjoying her last corn of the season before we took all the stalks down and bundled them like they are right here. And also we had both an earthquake and a hurricane blow through during August in the Northeast here. And so I have a little clip of the when the hurricane was hitting us, although we didn't have any damage and ended up with, I think, a 12-hour power outage, and that was about the worst of it for us. But nonetheless, I wanted to include those in this September video, so here you go. Come on, bring it here. Get it. Bring it here. Good girl. Good girl. Get that corn. Well, you've heard me say that no time is a bad time in the garden, and for the most part that's true, but today might be one of the few times when it's a little nasty out in the garden. This is the tail end of Hurricane Irene. We didn't fare too badly here, not much damage at all. Lots of rain, 5-6 inches I think, according to my rain gauge. Higher if you go by what the TV says. But it's definitely a little nasty to be out here in the garden today. But the good news is even the garden did pretty well. All the tomato cages are still up. All the Soybeans are still up. Even most of the corn, which is long since past harvest stage, is still up. So except for there being lots of water on the ground and stuff like that, it's really not all that bad. In fact, the okra is a very tall plant, and you can see that not only is it doing well, but this time of day, nice blooms are out there. They're oh, you're getting a little seasick? They're waving in the wind, but they are nice blooms. And usually I do the garden videos in the evening when they've closed. So yeah, not the best day in the world to be in the garden, but I thought for historical purposes it'd be a good idea to at least shoot a little bit of a clip out here. So that's it. It's like August 28th. Irene is now to our north, headed to New England. So good luck to those folks up there. Much less of an impact than what we thought originally it was going to be. So that's good. And the garden's okay as well. So can't really argue about that. The only problem is our power went out about 4:30 this morning, and it's still out. It's coming up to noon, so I don't imagine they've even got crews out yet. Maybe they have started getting some out, but hopefully we'll get the power back by the end of the day, and then we'll be back to normal. It's supposed to be just a beautiful day tomorrow, so we'll see. Anyway, just thought I'd share this little clip with you. Probably be included in the September video, even though this is August, pretty close to September. So we'll see y'all later. Woo-hoo. Okay, now we can get back to Marv originally ending this September video. September, like I said, this coming Friday, just in a few days, it'll actually be the official start of fall. Beautiful day today. It wasn't summery. It wasn't brisk, but it was just nice and dry air and calm and partly cloudy, and just a nice September day. And that's going to do it for us. There's a few apples out there on the apple tree. Won't bother to show you those. We got a good peach harvest this year, which is unusual. They've been keeping pretty well in the refrigerator too. And so all in all, it's been a pretty good year so far, and we're now starting to wind down that we're in September. And we will see you next month when it will be October, and the official beginning of fall and harvest season, and on into the holiday season. So it goes really fast these days. So that's going to do it for us. We will see you next time. Marvin Gardens 2011. This is September. We'll see you in October. Bye, y'all. Attaboy, Frankie. Good boy. What do you think? Am I, Frankie?
I'm gonna get me some sunflower seeds. Hey, wait a minute. Wait. Hey. Stop. Whoa. You gotta stop this, man. Oh, whoa, no. Whoa. I didn't really want any anyway.